was she like, I'm sorry I'm cutting you over here, but did she have this thing in her mind that something is going to happen to her?
Well, I think you may be aware, and some of your listeners may be aware, that, in after her return, after the October 18th attacks in Karachi, she sent me an email.
Yeah.
And the email basically was an instruction. It began, nothing, God willing, will happen to me, but if it does, and then she told me what she wanted done and who she wanted held accountable. So even though I was absolutely stunned at the hearing of her death, I also knew that I had to continue doing what she told me to do. I mean, she had given me a responsibility under these conditions, and no matter how broken I felt, I had to go forward, and that's when I released that email to CNN, and it was heard all over the world.
Can you share that email with us once again?
Well, I don't have it in front of me, but basically it said that nothing, God willing, will happen, but if it does, I want you to hold General Musharraf personally responsible, in addition to the names that were in my October 16th letter to General Musharraf, and this was a letter that Benazir had sent to Musharraf via the UAE embassy and ambassador, where she specifically named 3 people that she had been informed were plotting against her, and 2 of them were people who were very closely associated with General Musharraf. Her point in the email was, she said, nothing, all the things that were happening to her, the threats to her life, the feeling of insecurity that she felt, the denial of all the security that she had asked for, the telephone jammers, her car to be surrounded by 4 vehicles at all time, all of these things that she had asked for, and all of the protections that she was warranted to as a former prime minister, and that were being given to the 2 other prime ministers close to General Musharraf that were being denied to her, indicated a pattern, and she felt that he should be held responsible for her death. And if you look at the UN report that was recently issued in that 65-page document, I think they pretty much substantiated what she had said to me in that email.
Who were those other 3 people? I know who they were, and people also know, but I would like to hear it from you,
I don't really necessarily want to get into that. I mean, I think you know that one was Hamid Gul, and the Brigadier Aziz Shah was another, but I don't really want to get into that letter. That letter was never made public, and I certainly I never actually saw the letter. I know what I think I know what's in the letter, but I never saw the letter, so I prefer not to get into it.
Okay. So the last conversation you had with her on that morning.
It was my night, the night of December 26th, and her morning. I think it was 11 o'clock in the morning of December 27th.
What did she say? What did she say?
Well, it was a very good conversation. We had submitted a week before the book, A Reconciliation, Islam, Democracy in the West, to our publisher, HarperCollins. And they were giving it an internal review by their experts. And on the night of December 26th in the United States, I got an email from HarperCollins saying that they had read the book, and it was beyond anything they had dreamed it could be, that it was really a remarkable book. And, they congratulated me on the book, and I immediately sent that off to Benazir. And I'm sure in terms of your field as well. Sometimes whatever you do, you're never quite sure if it's good or it's bad until other people tell you.
Yeah,
because
right.
You think you're always doing your best, you think it's good, but you're never sure until it's really reviewed. So Benazir was absolutely delighted and relieved to get the reports from HarperCollins that they liked the book and they thought it was very good. We had worked 5 months under the most difficult conditions, impossible conditions, to produce that book. And we were trying to produce it before the end of the year. And I was delighted, and she was absolutely delighted that it was received well. And people who had seen her that day, and even reports in the press, said that she was radiant, and she looked very, very happy and confident. And I would like to think that on that last day, at least part of that happiness was her reaction to our publisher saying that that book was a very good book.
She used to talk to you all the time, and she used to seek your advices also, And did she seek your advice when she was coming back to Pakistan? Did you advise her anything?
Yes, there were certain parameters that had to be established for her return. I mean, obviously, I was in the United States. I was dealing with the Bush administration. There were certain things that had to be taken care of. And the last time I saw her was September 26th, 2007. That time I saw her physically was at that point in Washington when she spoke at the United States Senate and delivered her major speech for the Middle East Institute. And we spent a good deal of time together over those few days that she was in Washington, and we were talking about the circumstances of her return. During that time, there was one conversation that was interrupted by a call on her cell phone from General Musharraf. I stepped out, so I didn't hear that conversation. But it was obviously a moment.
So Musharraf called her, right?
Musharraf called her, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't know what happened. What was the conversation all about? You never asked her, right?
I'm sorry?
You never asked her.
Of course I knew what the conversation was about. I didn't stay in the room. It was not a good conversation. It was. I mean, I don't think I've ever talked about this. He was very confrontational. He seemed to be very hostile. He didn't want her to return. She made it clear that she was returning, that the preparations were well underway for her return, that she wouldn't be deterred. Again, this is what she related to me after the conversation, but I was not in the room when it occurred.
So she told you that Musharraf doesn't want her to come back to Pakistan, right?
Yes, it was, and she described it as a confrontational phone call.
So she confronted with him, right?
I don't know that she was being confrontational. I think she was telling me that he was acting very hostile.
Okay. So Musharraf was harsh with her,
yes.
and he never wanted her to go back to Pakistan, right? This is what she shared it with you, right?
He was trying to do, yes, and she made it clear that she was returning. She was returning on the 18th, that the preparations were underway, and that she was going to lead the party in the election, whether he wanted her to or not.